Ever wondered why you've been told to eat more fiber and less saturated fat? Is it always true, or is there more to the story? Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. For decades, we've been fed the notion that a high-fiber diet is a ticket to good health and that saturated fats are the villains lurking in our meals. This conventional wisdom is so deeply ingrained in our minds that we rarely question its validity. But what if we told you that some of these dietary directives might just be, well, myths? Let's start with fiber. We've all heard the mantra, eat more fiber. It's hailed as a digestive aid, a tool for weight management, and even a weapon against chronic diseases. But is fiber really the superhero we make it out to be? Or has it been given a halo it doesn't necessarily deserve? That's a question we'll be digging into. And then there's the infamous saturated fat. It's been demonized as the primary cause of heart disease and high cholesterol. We've been advised to limit our intake of saturated fats, replacing them with healthier alternatives. But is this the whole truth? Or is there more to saturated fat than meets the eye? In this journey of discovery, we'll be questioning the status quo, challenging the established beliefs, and delving into the latest scientific research. We'll be debunking the myths surrounding fiber and saturated fats and shedding light on their actual roles in our diet. Are you ready to question everything you thought you knew about fiber and saturated fats? To open your mind to the possibility that the dietary advice we've been following might not be as black and white as it seems? Stay tuned as we unravel the truth about fiber and saturated fat. First off, let's dive into what fiber is and why it's considered important. Fiber, my friends, is a type of carbohydrate that the body can't digest. While most carbohydrates are broken down into sugar molecules, fiber cannot be broken down into sugar molecules, and instead it passes through the body undigested. Fiber helps regulate the body's use of sugars, helping to keep hunger and blood sugar in check. Fiber comes in two flavors, soluble and insoluble. Soluble fiber dissolves in water to form a gel-like substance. It can help lower blood cholesterol and glucose levels and is found in foods like oats, peas, beans, apples, citrus fruits, carrots, barley, and psyllium. On the other hand, insoluble fiber, as you might have guessed, does not dissolve in water. It can help food move through your digestive system, promoting regularity and helping prevent constipation. You can find this type of fiber in foods like whole wheat flour, wheat bran, nuts, beans, and vegetables, such as cauliflower, green beans, and potatoes. Now, why is fiber considered important? Well, fiber has a number of health benefits. For starters, it aids in achieving a healthy weight. High-fiber foods tend to be more filling, so you're likely to eat less and stay satisfied longer, which can help prevent overeating. Fiber can also lower your risk of diabetes and heart disease. It can help reduce the amount of cholesterol in your blood, which can lower your risk of heart disease. And for those with diabetes, fiber, a particularly soluble fiber, can slow the absorption of sugar and help improve blood sugar levels. Furthermore, a high-fiber diet may help prevent colorectal cancer. Although the evidence is still somewhat mixed, some studies have found that fiber, particularly insoluble fiber, may reduce the risk of this type of cancer. Additionally, fiber can help you live longer. Yes, you heard that right. Studies have shown that a high-fiber diet may help you live longer, as it's linked to a reduced risk of dying from heart disease and all types of cancer. And let's not forget, fiber is also great for your digestive health. It aids in preventing constipation and promoting regular bowel movements. It can also help prevent hemorrhoids, diverticulitis, and reduce the risk of developing small pouches in your colon. So, where can you get your dose of fiber from? There are plenty of sources. Whole grains, fruits, vegetables, beans, peas, lentils, nuts, and seeds are all excellent sources of fiber. And remember, the best way to get your fiber is from food, not supplements. Fiber is definitely beneficial, but does it mean you should start loading up on it? Not so fast. Now, you might be thinking more fiber is always better, but is it really? Let's take a moment to unpack this. The common belief is that when it comes to fiber, the more the merrier. But this notion couldn't be further from the truth. Sure, fiber plays a crucial role in our diets. It aids digestion, helps maintain a healthy weight, and can even lower the risk of diabetes and heart disease. But like everything else in life, balance is essential. You see, while fiber is beneficial, excessive intake can lead to some unpleasant side effects. Imagine your digestive system as a busy highway. Now, picture fiber as the cars. A moderate amount of cars can keep traffic moving smoothly, but what happens when there are too many? You've got it. A traffic jam. In our bodies, this can translate to bloating, constipation, and abdominal pain. Not exactly a party, right? Furthermore, too much fiber can interfere with the absorption of certain nutrients. This is because it binds with minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron in the intestines, which can then be excreted from the body before they have a chance to be absorbed. Over time, this could potentially lead to nutrient deficiencies. Now, don't get us wrong, we're not suggesting you cut fiber out of your diet. Quite the contrary, in fact. Fiber is an essential part of a healthy diet. However, it's all about balance. It's not a case of the more fiber, the better. Instead, it's about consuming the right amount for your body. The key is to listen to your body and adjust your fiber intake accordingly. If you're experiencing digestive discomfort, it might be worth considering whether you're consuming too much fiber. On the other hand, if you're not getting enough, you might need to include more fiber-rich foods in your diet. So, while fiber is important, moderation is the key. As with everything in life, it's all about finding the right balance. Remember, too much of a good thing can sometimes be just that, too much. Moving on to the infamous saturated fat. But is it really as bad as it's made out to be? Let's dive in and get a grasp on this misunderstood nutrient. First off, what is saturated fat? In simple terms, it's a type of fat that's solid at room temperature. You'll find it in foods like butter, cheese, and red meat. But it's not just in animal products. Tropical oils like coconut oil and palm oil are also high in saturated fats. For years, we've been told that saturated fat is the bad guy in the nutritional world. The common belief is that it raises your cholesterol levels, leading to heart disease. But is this the whole truth? Let's delve a bit deeper. The role of saturated fat in our bodies is multifaceted. It's not just about energy storage. Saturated fat is a vital component of cell membranes, providing structure and integrity. It plays a key role in bone health, aiding in the incorporation of calcium into our skeleton. Even our brain, which is almost 60% fat, needs saturated fat for optimal function. But what about its infamous connection to heart disease? It's not as straightforward as you might think. While it's true that saturated fat can raise the level of LDL, or bad cholesterol, it also raises HDL, the good cholesterol. This means that the overall effect on your heart health is more complex than a simple bad fat equals bad heart equation. Moreover, recent studies have started to question the long-held belief that saturated fat is a major contributor to heart disease. A meta-analysis of 21 studies involving over 300,000 participants found no significant evidence that dietary saturated fat is associated with an increased risk of coronary heart disease or cardiovascular disease. Now, this doesn't mean you should start guzzling down jars of coconut oil or eating steak at every meal. Like everything in nutrition, balance is key. It's about variety and moderation. Saturated fats can be part of a healthy diet when consumed in appropriate amounts, along with a mix of other nutrients. And let's not forget the sources. Not all saturated fats are created equal. The fats in a fast food burger are not the same as those in a piece of grass-fed beef or a spoonful of virgin coconut oil. The quality of the food matters as much as the type of fat it contains. In conclusion, saturated fat is not the nutritional villain it's often portrayed to be. It has a crucial role in our bodies and can be part of a balanced diet. Its impact on our health is complex and depends on various factors, including the amount consumed, the overall diet quality, and individual health status. Saturated fat has been demonized, but is it truly the villain? So, you've been told to avoid saturated fat like the plague, but should you really? This question has puzzled the minds of many, as we've been fed a narrative that saturated fats are the villains in our diet, the culprits behind heart disease and obesity. But is this belief rooted in fact or fiction? Let's take a step back and think about this. The demonization of saturated fats began in the mid-20th century when studies linked high saturated fat intake to heart disease. Fast forward to now, and this belief is ingrained in our society. It's almost as if we've been programmed to view anything with saturated fats as harmful. But here's the twist. Recent research is challenging this traditional view. Studies are showing that saturated fats aren't the dietary villains we've made them out to be. Some research even suggests that saturated fats may improve cardiovascular health, contrary to the age-old belief. Ever heard of the French paradox? The French have a diet high in saturated fats, yet they have one of the lowest rates of heart disease worldwide. This paradox has puzzled scientists for years, but it's starting to make sense now. Perhaps saturated fats aren't the enemy. Moreover, saturated fats play a crucial role in our bodies. They're essential for hormone production, immune function, and nutrient absorption. They also provide a concentrated source of energy and give food a desirable taste and texture. Yet it's important to remember that not all saturated fats are created equal. The source matters. Saturated fats from processed foods are not the same as those from natural sources like coconut oil or grass-fed butter. The key is balance and moderation. Like everything in life, too much of anything can be harmful. The same goes for saturated fats. They're not the villains they've been made out to be, but that doesn't mean we should consume them recklessly. Turns out, saturated fat isn't the enemy after all. It's time we question the narratives we've been fed and look at the evidence. After all, it's our health on the line. So, what's the takeaway here? Should you gorge on saturated fat and shun fiber? It's a question that might be playing on a loop in your mind, especially after debunking some deep-seated myths about fiber and saturated fats. But before you start loading your plate with butter and bacon, or completely removing fruits and vegetables from your diet, let's get one thing straight. Balance is key. The human body is a complex machine, and just like any finely tuned apparatus, it requires a perfect blend of different nutrients to function optimally. Picture your body as a symphony orchestra. Each nutrient, from fiber to fat, proteins to carbs, vitamins to minerals, plays a unique instrument. Now imagine what would happen if all the violins decided to play a solo at once, or the drums decided to take a break. The music would be chaotic, right? The same happens with your body when you overload on certain nutrients while neglecting others. Fiber, despite the fallacies we've discussed, is a crucial part of our diet. It aids digestion, helps control blood sugar levels, and can even lower cholesterol. However, as with all good things, too much of it can lead to bloating, cramps, and other digestive issues. So, while it's essential, it's not something you should be over-consuming. Saturated fats, on the other hand, have been demonized for years, but they're not the villains they've been made out to be. Saturated fats are vital for the integrity of cell membranes, hormone production, and even for the absorption of certain vitamins. Still, just because they're not the enemy doesn't mean you should start eating them in excess. Too much saturated fat can lead to weight gain and other health issues. So what's the answer then? It's simple. Moderation. The best approach to nutrition is a balanced diet where all nutrients are present in the right proportions. This doesn't mean you need to measure out every morsel of food that goes into your mouth. It simply means being mindful of what you're eating, ensuring you're getting a good mix of nutrients, and not overdoing it on any one thing. Incorporate a variety of fruits, vegetables, lean meats, dairy, grains, and yes, even some saturated fats into your diet. Each meal should be a colorful mix of different food groups, providing a symphony of nutrients that your body needs to function optimally. So let's put the myths to bed and focus on the facts. Your body needs both fiber and saturated fats, along with a host of other nutrients. Don't eliminate, moderate. The key to a healthy diet isn't cutting out food groups, but ensuring you're getting a balanced intake of all nutrients. In the end, it's all about balance and moderation. Keep that in mind, and you'll be on your way to healthier living.